Tales from the Bilberry Moon Cafe. As my parrot was reading the Evening Gazette, an advertisement captured his eye. Librarian needed to start right away. So he made up his mind to apply. He rang and inquired as to whom he should speak, and was told he'd be given a trial for 1 week. So, combing his feathers and brushing his beak, my parrot set off for the library. He studied intently, acquainting himself with the book lists, subscriptions and fines, and was told most important of all was the rule that silence be kept at all times. But when ladies and gentlemen, young girls and boys, enquired in a whisper for books of their choice, he would squawk, "Let me check!" at the top of his voice, my parrot, who worked in the library. Like a sudden explosion, his piercing squawk quite shattered the customary hush, and the readers and students all clutched their poor hearts, and they vehemently hissed at him, "Shush!" Embarrassed, my parrot turned paler than chalk, and conceding he'd broken the rule not to talk, called, "Sorry, I'm sure!" in an ear-splitting squawk, my parrot, who worked in the library. Yes, it could be considered a pitiful shame that my parrot showed promise indeed at filing, computing and tidying shelves and tending each customer's need, for while such devotion promotion deserves, to screech, "Can I help you?" invariably serves to frazzle and shatter the calmest of nerves in the sacrosanct hush of the library. And sadly, complaints and objections were made, to my parrot's regret and dismay. So the senior librarian decided, at length, that his job must be taken away. She commended his diligence, promptness and skill at the library computer, the shelves and the till, but in view of his squawk being irksomely shrill, my parrot was sacked from the library. So, sadly, my parrot accepted his fault, and collecting his lunchbox and coat, he shrugged as he shuffled alone to his home with the trace of a lump in his throat. And back at the library, everyone said, "Such a shame that his squawking would waken the dead. Is there no other job we could offer instead for a parrot to do in a library?" Then the senior librarian hiccuped and said, "With the outcrop of book theft these days, we could use a good siren or burglar alarm and a fire bell in case of a blaze. And at closing time, latecomers linger here so. We could use a good signal for those who are slow to remind them it's time for the public to go. Could our parrot do this in our library?" So a telephone call to my parrot was made with this temptingly good proposition. Would my parrot consider security work as opposed to his recent position? My parrot was happier than ever I've known and cried, "Fiddle-dee-dee!" in a shrill, piercing tone quite deafening the girl on the end of the phone, my parrot who worked in the library. So my parrot returned to the library next day and was welcomed with wide-open arms. He was soon reinstated with instant success as the finest of burglar alarms. With his uniform, cap, and his bright, polished beak, he cries, "Soon we shall close!" with a harrowing shriek, and a £20 bonus was offered per week to my parrot who works in the library.